Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a beautiful turmeric and beeswax hand and body cream. As you may know, I have a lot of turmeric inspired formulas here on my YouTube channel along with my Patreon campaign, and I use a lot of the pre-made turmeric shea butter and the turmeric extracts that you can purchase from different suppliers online. And I get a lot of questions from patrons and viewers about these products because they are kind of pricey, and they ask a lot of times, can I just make my own turmeric infused oils or shea butter, or can I create my own extract somehow with the turmeric and ingredients that I have on hand? So in this video, I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to teach you how to make a turmeric infused oil, and then I'm going to use that oil to create a beautiful hand and body cream with turmeric infused oil and beeswax. This hand and body cream is perfect for anyone with sensitive skin, dry skin, eczema prone skin, maybe just itchy skin from the winter elements, or if you want to add an extra layer or barrier of protection for those harsh winter months. With the addition of turmeric infused oil and colloidal oats, this cream is going to be very, very soothing. It's going to promote healing because turmeric is known for its anti-inflammatory properties and antioxidant properties that promote healing. I'm going to be sharing this full written recipe with percentages, amounts, and a full detailed step-by-step written tutorial over on my Patreon campaign. If you're unfamiliar with my campaign, I'm going to go ahead and place the link in the description box below for you. It's a great way to connect with me and other makers, and there's literally 3.5 years now of archive recipes for you to take advantage of. There are hundreds of posts, hundreds of recipes for you to look at, all at the $5 level. You can unlock this recipe that I'll be making today, along with every other recipe I've ever published at just the $5 level. Besides the $5 tier, there are also 4 other tiers for you to take a look at and take advantage of if you like. Again, I'll place the link in the description box. I hope you'll join us over there. All right, let's get to making this beautiful hand and body cream. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and prepare the infusion for this project. So I'm weighing off some dried organic turmeric. This is a 1 to 9 part ratio, so 1 part turmeric to 9 parts apricot kernel oil. Now, I like this method, just pouring the oil directly over the top of the turmeric. There are lots of ways to infuse oil, but this is my preferred way with turmeric because I feel like it gets the oil nice and infused. So I'm going to give it a good stir, make sure my turmeric is all mixed in with my oil. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover the top with some plastic wrap as we get ready to infuse the oil. So we're just going to cover the whole thing. We don't want any water from our hot water bath to get inside of the oil. So I'm just going to cover the whole thing, and then I'm going to pop it into a wide saute pan with a few inches of water, and then we're going to put it on the stove and allow it to warm on low for 4 hours. Once your infusion's done, it's time to strain the turmeric from the oil. So this is my preferred method for straining. I like my oil to be sediment free, so I use a coffee filter sitting inside of a mesh strainer, and I place it over a large container that can accommodate the strainer because this is going to be an exercise in patience. It's going to take a long time, and you want to be able to walk away from this a little bit. So make sure your container is big enough to hold your strainer without you standing there. And then it's just going to take a long time for that oil to drip through the coffee filter, but the end result is a beautiful bright yellow sediment-free infused apricot kernel oil. You're going to have more than you need for this project, so you're just going to go ahead and save some for later in a container. Once your oil is all finished straining, you're left with this beautiful bright yellow turmeric infused apricot kernel oil, and as you can see, there is no sediment hanging around the bottom of this container. So now we are ready to go ahead and make our beeswax and turmeric cream. So this formula is broken up into 3 parts. We're going to have a heated water phase, a heated oil phase, and then a cool down phase. And I'll talk to you a little bit about why this can be a bit of a tricky formula to put together, but if you follow a few simple rules, you will make a really lovely cream. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and weigh off the water. Now I'm going to put my oil phase in my bigger container because that is eventually where all the water is going to go into. So we're making a total of 32 ounces, and I'm just weighing off the water needed for this formula. All right, and then I'm going to take my water and I'm just going to set it aside. This is everything that goes into the water phase. And then we're going to start to weigh out the ingredients needed for the oil phase. And I'm going to be putting this into my bigger container. So we're going to be using the Turmeric Infused Apricot Kernel Oil for this formula. If you don't want to infuse your oils, you can just use plain apricot kernel oil. You don't have to use the turmeric oil. That's just what I'm choosing to do here. Okay, now you're going to have some left over. Reserve this oil in an airtight container and store it in a nice cool and dark area, and you can use that turmeric infused oil for other projects. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and weigh off my shea butter. Shea butter is excellent for moisturization. It has antioxidants in it. It's really, really good for mature skin. It's an overall really great butter to add to thicker creams or lotions. By the way, this is refined shea butter. You could totally use unrefined shea butter in place of this. I like the refined shea butter because it comes white and it's not going to affect the color of your finished product, and it also doesn't have that kind of nutty shea butter smell, which could be great in some formulas that contain like a cocoa or a chocolate smell. But in this case, we are not going for that. So I like to use the refined shea butter. The next thing we're going to be adding to the oil phase ingredients is some emulsifying wax. Now your emulsifying wax is what turns your lotion into lotion. So you won't have an emulsified cream without this, because you cannot combine oils and water. So you need an emulsifier to make sure that you're making lotion and that your waters and oils don't separate. So we're just using a regular generic emulsifying wax, and I find that works really good. All right, and then the last thing we're going to be adding into the oil phase is some beeswax. The last thing I'm going to add to the oil phase is some beeswax. Now, beeswax is an amazing additive for lotions and creams. This is going to help to provide a barrier to your skin. This is a great cream for wintertime months, anyone with dry, irritated skin, eczema-prone skin. This is going to provide a nice barrier, and it's going to help to lock in the moisture. Now, I'm using this big beeswax cube I got at a local farmer's market. However, you can use any type of cosmetic grade beeswax that you want. I'm just using this carrot peeler here to shave off what I need for this recipe. And I will bring you right back when I have enough beeswax to weigh off. All right, so now that I have all that beeswax weighed off, I have everything I need for my heated oil phase and everything for my heated water phase ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these into a wide saute pan with a few inches of water, and we're going to create a double boiler system to melt this down slowly and carefully. So this is the tricky part with this cream. Really, this is the part that can kind of mess you up if you don't follow the temperature rules on this. So beeswax has a high melt point, which means that it takes a while to get it melted down, but it melts at a higher temperature. So we need to get this down to about 160 degrees, melted down to about 160 degrees to get the beeswax melted. And also we want to make sure our water is the same temperature as the oil phase, because if the water is cooler and we pour it into the oil phase, that beeswax will try to re-solidify and then you're going to have a clumpy mess on your hands. So we're going to go ahead and get these melted down to around 160 to 170 degrees. I'll probably stop at 165 and then they'll be ready to combine. However, you don't want to go much past 170 because of that shea butter. The shea butter is delicate, and if you get it too hot, then you definitely risk scorching it, and then your whole product also can be ruined because butters turn a little bit grainy when they overheat. So I'm going to go ahead and melt these down. I'll bring you back when they are down to 165 degrees, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, everything is melted down at temperature. So now it's time to go ahead and create our lotion. So you're gonna wanna get your immersion blender and then your hot water. You're gonna pour the water into the oil phase and begin blending right away to get this emulsified. Right away we have this beautiful kind of bright cherry yellow looking emulsion, and I'm going to go ahead and continue to pulse this on low for about 2 minutes, and I'll bring you back for the next step. All right, so we blended this for about 2 minutes, and now it's time for the next step, and we're going to be adding in our cool down ingredients. Now the temperature on this right now is about 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 136 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to be adding in some glycerin next. Now for this cream, I'm adding in quite a bit of glycerin. I'm doing that for a few reasons. Glycerin is a humectant and it does help to draw moisture to the skin. So this is really going to help lock in moisture, draw moisture from the air to your skin. And I'm using quite a bit of it. It doesn't have a tacky or sticky feeling. So don't be afraid of the amount that I'm adding in here. This is really, really great with this cream and works perfectly with the beeswax. All right, next we're going to be adding in some fragrance oil. Now I'm using sunflower and sandalwood fragrance oil. This is by Brambleberry. You don't have to use fragrance oil in this recipe. If you'd like to keep it fragrance free, you totally can. Or you could use something else like an essential oil. Sunflower and sandalwood is a really nice kind of bright and cheery fragrance, which is why I've decided to use it for this cream. It kind of matches that yellow happy color. And then the last thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in some preservative. Now a preservative is necessary here because we've combined waters and oils. And if you don't add a preservative in, your cream will grow bacteria super quickly. I'm using Optiphen Preservative. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give this a little stir. All right, and the last thing I'm going to do before we blend this up again is add in some colloidal oats. Now, these colloidal oats are going to add lots of soothing properties to the skin. So it's just like adding oats in any other recipe that you're using for its calming effects. You can do the same thing with creams. You can add in colloidal oats and make for a very soothing experience. This would be a great, great cream, again, for anyone with sensitive, eczema-prone skin, irritated skin from the winter elements. Then we're just going to go ahead and blend this up. All right, I'll bring you back when this cream has thickened up and we're ready to go ahead and add it to our finished containers. All right, so the cream has cooled down quite a bit now. We're sitting right around 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of the consistency of this. It's a beautiful, thick cream, and it's a beautiful bright yellow color. So we're going to go ahead and bottle these up. Now I am just putting them in these little 4-ounce PET wide mouth containers. I got these from Berlin Packaging. I think they're super sleek looking, and it's easy to fill them because they've got a wide mouth without using a piping bag. So we're just going to go ahead and fill these up. This will get a little thicker too as it cools, but it's pretty close to this consistency at its final consistency. All right, so I want to give you a little bit of a use demo before I sign off here. Isn't that the brightest yellow, cheeriest color you've ever seen? It's so, so pretty. Super thick. These will be perfect for shipping. That beeswax makes a nice thick cream. This is going to be substantial feeling. It's not going to come off the skin very easily. So it's great for those wintertime months when you want your cream to stay on your skin and kind of provide that barrier from the elements. But this is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to use a little bit here for my hands. A little bit goes a long way. It's very decadent. This is going to be very healing as well. But as you can see, it goes right into the skin. There's no staining. You know, there's not enough concentrated turmeric in here to stain your skin. But it's just absolutely gorgeous. Goes right into the skin beautifully. It's got a nice kind of barrier type feeling. So this would be great for after hand washing, or again, just for irritated, eczema prone skin. Very, very soothing. All right, everybody, that's how you make a beautiful turmeric and beeswax thick cream. I hope you really like this video. I hope you try this formula. If you do, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a question or comment below. That really means a lot to me. Share this video with a friend and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. All right, everybody, catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.